Hello, here we are, Monday night, and we are live. Where the fuck are we? Oh, yeah. We're just waiting for Lee Priest, Kenton from EP09. Hope everybody had a nice weekend. It was hot as hell in New Jersey. But we are going to have actually a really good show. My man, what's up, dude?
What's going on?
How you doing, brother?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. Thank you for coming on. I just had hold on, sorry. There we go. I just had crazy cardio. I did. I went to the gym and I trained, and then I did cardio on the machine for a half hour, and then I went to a kickboxing class after that for a half hour. So I was running a little late. And fucking basically did an hour of cardio. Anyway, what's up, dude? How's everything going, man?
You weren't late. You were like 2 minutes late. You're good.
Yeah, no, I get here earlier, and then of course you come home, and then your wife wants to talk to you about what happened during the day, and so on and so forth. It's like, I gotta go. You're trying to be nice. Like, oh yeah. How you doing? How was the weekend?
It was a long weekend here, actually. Tomorrow we've got this thing in Canada. Now, get this, John. Okay, you probably never heard of this. We got this thing in Canada called Canada Day.
Okay, got it.
Did you ever hear of it?
No. I'm assuming it's like the 4th of July. I mean, I don't know, for our day.
That's exactly what it is, because America knows nothing about Canada, but Canada knows about everything about America.
I think it's like that with every country, to be honest with you. Like, everybody knows everything about fucking America. Nobody knows shit about any other country. So go ahead.
Well, either way, everybody gets a paid day off, and yeah, I don't know what we're gonna get up to, but I'm gonna get up and train legs. I've been doing like a push-pull legs session. No, sorry, that's a lie. Push-pull legs, arms, because you got to have an arm workout in there, right?
Oh yeah.
And so tomorrow's legs. So I'll do that in the morning before I do anything else.
How do you like that? How do you like doing push-pull legs?
It's the first time that I have ever done push-pull legs and arms. It's an interesting split because I think that I get a lot out of it for a very low volume and within an RPE range that I typically don't work to. And I do it right to the letter. Like, I use a timer in my gym, or when I'm like watching a YouTube video or something while I'm training, I'll look at how long into the video I am, and I'll be like, okay, it's at like 5 minutes, 30 seconds, and I got 2 minutes in between sets. So I know that it's 7 minutes and 30 seconds, then I got to go do my set. I got really, really into it, and it's awesome.
Good.
My strength is up for sure.
As far as I'm concerned, man, whatever works. I mean, you got to get to the point where you got to figure out what works for you. You got to, all these young guys that I talk to in the gym, you got to get your basics down first. So, right, you got to get it form down. You got to make sure that you have your bench in, and your squatting in, and your deadlifting in, and make sure all the form is down. And then you figure out what works exactly for you, right? Because everybody's a little bit different. Xavier, I sent you the link. I don't know where Lee is, but yo, Kenton, I heard a rumor. I don't know. It's a crazy rumor. Want to hear the rumor I heard? It's about this this bodybuilding YouTube channel that shall remain nameless. But the rumor is that this person that hosts this particular bodybuilding YouTube channel, he actually pays his the higher end bodybuilders to come onto his show.
Interesting.
Yeah. I've never paid anybody anything, but I understand that the more of the elite bodybuilders that he has on, he pays them. I mean, I have no proof of this. This is just a rumor that I heard from a couple of sources, But like, I was thinking, like, how far would you go to be successful? Would you really pay? Have you ever paid anybody to come on your show?
No, I haven't. I've never had anybody actually ask me for money in order to be on my show either. I don't really know how that works, to be honest with you. That's one thing that I'm not overly familiar with when it comes to the transactions within some of the upper levels of bodybuilding.
Yeah.
What do or maybe Milos expects to be paid for the shows that he's on, maybe
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if how the other guys do it. I don't think Dave Palumbo pays anybody. That's for sure.
I don't think so. No,
Dave has a reputation of being a little frugal, so I don't think he pays anybody. But
and yeah,
I've never paid anybody. So I was thinking, like, if you're willing to pay guys on that level, do you pay the guys that are on the lower end of bodybuilding that come on your show too? And then, like, let's say you have a guy who's the best ever, and you pay him to come on your show, and then you got a guy that comes on that's like, maybe a second tier or third tier bodybuilder. Do you pay him too? And if you don't, when
no,
they
I
get
don't
upset,
think so.
No, I don't know. And then how far would you go? Would you quite possibly pay somebody to stay off somebody else's show if you thought that person was a threat? I mean, it's a stretch. It's a stretch. I get it, but I'm just saying it's a possibility. I don't know.
There's been this is not the first conversation to happen when it comes to these guys only do these podcasts. They're only allowed to do these podcasts. Hell, even within Fuad's podcast, right? It was talked about for quite some time. Ian's not allowed to do other podcasts or whatever.
Right.
Ian's done other podcasts, and he'll keep doing other podcasts.
Yeah.
But maybe at a certain level, like I said, maybe these guys do expect to be paid for certain appearances. Like, here, let me ask you this: is there anybody in bodybuilding? It could be anybody, okay, that you would pay to come on your channel?
No,
not nobody at all.
No, not even if. Well, I certainly wouldn't pay. No, I wouldn't, because I'm thinking of all the greats: Dorian, Phil, Jay Cutler came on. I didn't have to pay him.
Okay,
I did pay Tom Sizemore, the actor, on my other channel, because he's Tom Sizemore. He was in great movies like Heat and Saving Private Ryan. Do you remember? Did you ever watch any of those movies?
Saving Private Ryan, absolutely.
Right. So Tom Sizemore was Mike. It was Tom Hanks's right-hand man in Saving Private Ryan. That character that he plays, his name is Michael. I forgot his list. Do you remember his character?
I don't remember the movie that well. No, I don't remember it that well. But
yeah, he was basically a huge co-star in the movie. I mean, he was also in Heat. He was in Heat. Did you ever see Heat with De Niro, Pacino? Never saw. Oh, that's a great movie. You gotta watch it. Probably the best shootout scene ever. He was in True Romance. He was in Natural Born Killers. He played a ton of roles, ton of movies. And he actually overdosed. Well, I don't know if he overdosed, but he died. He was bad with drugs. I paid him because he was a major Hollywood actor to come on, But he was a major Hollywood actor, and the money he asked was actually very reasonable. It wasn't I could afford it, But no, I wouldn't pay any. I'm thinking of the best guys ever. Phil, Dorian. Who else? Arnold certainly doesn't need the money. You know what I mean?
No, you're right about that.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't pay anybody, because it was a strange current of events. I mean, that same person who I heard the rumors about, there were other rumors floating around, and I had somebody that was supposed to come on that was a relatively an elite level, and then they canceled on me. It was really strange. So I'm thinking to myself, would it be a stretch if somebody paid somebody to stay off another person's YouTube channel? Is it much of a stretch? Do you think that's a stretch, or do you think that's a possibility?
Anything can be negotiated.
Yeah.
No two deals are the same.
I don't know. I'm just saying it's a possibility. I mean, like I said, these are just rumors I've heard, but You never know, you know. Because
Yeah.
one day this person
No
was
two
all real.
girls are the same.
Yeah, one day this person was really gung ho, and then the next day the person was like, "Sorry, I can't do that." Really weird, really really strange. Anyway, I don't know where Lee Priest
Strange
is.
times in bodybuilding. Strange,
Yeah,
strange
yeah,
times in
yeah.
bodybuilding.
We'll get on to. Yeah, it really is. Well, let's see. Let me check where Lee Priest is. I did message him.
Yeah.
I
You
don't
know
know if
what,
he's.
though, John? One thing I will say is there's one thing that I was absolutely right about. This whole thing of the previous transgressions between individuals within bodybuilding, the new school and old school thing.
Ah,
I said that it was going to be over within a few videos, and it pretty much is.
yeah, yeah,
Exactly
yeah.
what I said was going to happen is what happened, because it will happen again
Right.
and again and again, and the
Yeah,
same thing will happen.
absolutely. It's
It's
going to. Yeah.
this is just the way that it is. It typically ends up with a bit of a reset button, and everybody just gets on to the next show. And that,
Yeah,
my
and it's
friend,
exactly what
is
happened.
bodybuilding.
Yeah.
That's bodybuilding. The show comes around, and you know what? That's the one nice thing. Nobody cares about anything but the fucking show. That's one thing that you can definitely say.
No, absolutely. There was a lot. There's a couple of things that I loved about bodybuilding, and one of the things that I absolutely loved about bodybuilding is like the bullshit never got in the way. So what I mean by that is like when you watch other sports, there's so much bullshit that gets in the way. Politics, racism, um, the gender identity stuff. Bodybuilding doesn't. It's like it has a. I don't know how it does it, but it has a way of keeping all that shit out. You know what I mean? Like, and it's basically, can you train hard and can you win competitions? It doesn't matter. Nothing else matters. And that's one of the things I've always loved about bodybuilding. All the bullshit. Nobody cares who you voted for. Nobody cares what your political stances are. Nobody cares if you're black, white, Asian. Can you train hard and win shows? That's all anybody fucking cares about. And and to me, that's a very honorable part of the sport, and that's one thing that I always loved about it. Like when you watch the NBA or the WNBA, or I mean, it's just what you watch football, and there's so much shit, so much crap. But I guess we have our crap too. But it's not like politics or racism or uh, or gender identity. Should a guy playing girl sports, even though they identify like that, and that doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Anyway, this is my 2 cents.
Well, the politics is questionable at certain times. Definitely not what it was. But listen, let's talk bodybuilding, man. Let's talk
Yeah,
about
absolutely.
let's talk
So
about
this,
the Italy.
yeah, clearly, and I'm glad, very glad that they gave it to. That's another thing, right? I'm very glad that they gave it to Neckzilla because clearly Andrea Presti was the hometown guy and the crowd was behind him. But the judges are like, no, it doesn't matter if he's from here. He didn't win. He came in second, which I fully agreed with, and I was very happy because there's a part of me that was like, they're gonna give it to him because he's fucking Italian and they're in Italy, and no. And I was very happy over that, even though I'm Italian myself. But if you don't legitimately deserve to win, then you should not win. It's exactly what happened. Neckzilla came in harder and leaner than he was. I mean, this was a lighter competition, obviously, than Dubai. But you got to give Neckzilla his credit. He came in and he wanted to qualify for the Olympia. He came in and he did what he had to do, and he won that show.
There's no question.
Yeah,
They could not give it to Andrea Presti. There was no possibility
yeah,
because Neckzilla was just so far ahead. The one thing that I really liked about this show was that the mass monster, the freak of nature, won
yeah,
this one because of the fact that he's a freak of nature,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
It wasn't because he was the best conditioned, even though he was better than Dubai, I
yeah.
feel a little bit better. It's not because he was the most flowy by
Right.
any stretch. It's not that
Right.
he was it's because he was the freak. And I really am happy to see a show where the freak of nature won because I was actually listening to Ron Harris earlier, and he just said, "I'm not a fan of his physique. I don't doesn't flow well, and blah 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 blah." That's why we have Classic, okay?
Right.
We have the Open for the freaks, okay? That's
Same
what it's
old
there for.
master class,
I
just like you said.
Now Rubiel lacks an amount of class for sure, but he's not. It's not just his physique; it's the shots that he hits, and people forget that side chest is really, really fucking good, bro. Really good.
Yeah, it's not like he's all size and nothing else. I mean,
No,
he dialed it in. His rear double by was really good, really really good. I mean, his legs were a little bit, but he's going to have trouble separating his legs because his legs are so big. But maybe, Ramy had the same problem. Maybe in a year or two, he could, be able to resolve that problem with some muscle maturity and whatnot. But yeah, he hits shots, and he's just a freak when he hits those shots. And it's just like his side shots are just freaky. It's just unbelievable. How much did he weigh on stage?
I have no idea. I really don't know.
He's got to be close to 300 pounds. I mean, I don't know how tall he is, but, he's got to be up there.
I don't know if he's up to 300 on. I don't think he's 300 on stage. He's not that tall.
No, I don't think he's that. But I mean, if you told me he was 285, I wouldn't blink an eye. You know what I mean? I don't know how tall he is though, because Samson's about 6'1", and he's 295 on stage or something to that effect.
I just don't know how much those legs weigh because I've never seen anything like them.
Dude, it's just, and the one thing that I like about Neckzilla is that he's putting in the fucking work. He's putting in the work. He's doing what he has to do to get better. So that it immediately makes me respect him as a bodybuilder. Like last year or the year before when he kept pulling out of shows for whatever, this, that, the other thing.
He's regained some ground. There's no question.
Yeah, he definitely has some credibility. And
he's actually competing again next weekend in Portugal.
And good for him. Really. Good for him. And I think, what's his name is doing it too, right? Nathan?
Nathan, yep. Yeah. I think he's at 5'11" is what I can find generally from Google.
That means, dude, that means he's a big boy. His body weight's got to be up there. It's got to be. Like I said, if you told me
he's insane.
Yeah, if you told me 280, 285, I wouldn't even. I'd be like, yeah, I wouldn't even blink. Now, is he going to be able to beat Nathan Diasha? Ooh, I don't know. If Nathan comes in the shape he did at Dubai, I don't think he's going to be able to beat. But then again,
it's going to be a battle.
If he comes then again, I don't know. If Neckzilla comes in even a little bit harder than this week, right? Yeah, he might be able to beat Nathan. You
got to break it down again, shot for shot.
Right.
Where is Nathan going to beat him in certain shots? It's not going to be from the side.
Definitely,
I don't think.
No.
Could it be from the back if he brings the lower body conditioning that Rubiel may not bring? Possible. Right. But I think that Rubiel's back is actually underrated because his back double in the upper body is insane.
Yeah, this
week, fucking nuts, dude.
Whatever he did from Dubai to Italy, he really improved a lot. And that rear double by was really impressive in Italy. It really was. The amount of detail and mass on there. I think Nathan could beat him in the front. When I say the front shots, the abs and thigh, obviously. I don't know if he could beat him in the most muscular. Listen, it's gonna be. I hope Neckzilla just comes in 2 or 3% even better than Italy. Then I think he could beat. Nathan.
Yeah, the more that I think about it, with what Neckzilla could bring, he has a chance. He has more of a chance now than he did. Back in Dubai. There's no question, right? So if he can even come in better, then Nathan will probably win. I do want to say that. think that Nathan will probably win, even though he may not deserve to win. I don't know.
You
If he
can't
shows
count.
up like he did
You
in
can't count
Dubai, he might be in trouble.
who Neckzilla, you mean?
It's hard to explain. I think that Nathan will win, but I think that it would be for almost the wrong reasons, because I feel like Neckzilla should be rewarded for what he has.
Okay.
Nathan is better when it comes to the aesthetics, but
Yeah.
here's how I can explain it. Okay. Nathan is better when it comes to the overall aesthetics of the physique, no question, right?
All right.
But Rubiel is beyond the size of Nathan. He's beyond the size of everyone, right?
Yeah. Right.
If he does show up with better conditioning, then I think that Rubiel's conditioning and muscularity is greater than what Nathan's lead over Rubiel is in terms of having that shape and flow.
I agree. Absolutely. I fully
That's
agree.
the best way that I can describe it.
The only thing is you can't, the thing is with Nathan, you can't really count him out. I mean, the guy's track record speaks for himself. How many pro wins does he have?
12. It's like I said, he'll probably win, but I don't think it'll be by a wide margin.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be, as long as Neckzilla keeps on track of what he's doing, whatever he's doing, that this is going to be a really good 1-2 punch. This is going to be a really good top 1-2. I don't know who else is doing it. I do know Horse MD is going into Classic.
He is.
I don't know if that's a mistake or not. We'll find out.
Oh, wait, you don't. There's another couple of guys that are actually doing Portugal that are going to be pretty good. Anthony Gell is doing it. He's pretty good. He'll probably be in that first call out. And Josef Vetten. Josef Vetten is one of my personal favorite bodybuilders. He has the best shoulders in the IFBB. It's not even a question. It's hands down. He took 4th at the show, and I think he could have been as high as 3rd easily, if not battling for maybe 2nd. He's that good. Okay. But regardless, he's going to be in Portugal as well. And like I said, he's really good. And a lot of people, I think he was overlooked at the Italy.
Now, is that the guy who came in 3rd? You refresh my memory.
No, that was Adolf Bergfeld, I think his name is. Josef Vetten came in 4th.
Okay.
I'll send you some stuff. You'll see.
I looked at that. Yeah, I looked at. I know who you're talking
shoulders
about.
in bodybuilding, dude. He's nuts.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about now. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just not as familiar with the European bodybuilders than I am, obviously, with the American, Canadian bodybuilders. But yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be. I'm loving this season.
Me too.
I am loving this season, and
yep,
this is turning out to be like a fantastic bodybuilding season, which obviously is going to turn out to be a fantastic bodybuilding Mr. Olympia this year, right? I mean, you had Derek that came and beat Samson at the Arnold, which nobody expected him to come back from coming in 3rd at the Olympia, and then you had Nick Walker making his comeback. You had Regan Grimes that came in better. You had Antonio Burton that just, I mean, he basically elevated himself to a top tier bodybuilder this year. I mean, he just had tremendous surprises and tremendous growth in bodybuilding, and it's really turning out to be a great season. It really is. And another guy that we haven't talked about in the 212 guy, that's the guy that, remember, like, I don't know, the last time you were on, when I said, who's that young kid? I couldn't remember his name. And he won the Dubai 212. He beat Angel Calderon. And I think he's only 20. That's it, right. Okay, I can't pronounce his name. That kid is unbelievable. What's he, 21, 22 years old, something like that? That kid is just unbelievable.
I'll have to look it up now. He's insane. The proportions are absolutely one of the most classic looks that you'll find in the competitive season.
These guys, and I think it's because the world has opened up to bodybuilding. They come out of these young kids are coming out of the woodwork. The talent that's in bodybuilding now, it doesn't seem to be stopped coming either. I think And I have a feeling that kid's going to be another kid that puts on some size and goes into the open because his physique is just phenomenal.
He's 22. Yeah, he's 20. He's 22.
20.
Dude.
Yeah, it's insane. That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. What did you look like at 22, John?
No, I look like what did I look at like at 22? I'm trying to. I did my first contest at 23. At 22, I look like a model in a magazine. That's what I look like. Do you know what I mean? Like I look like a swimsuit model that you would see in like a Macy's catalog. You know, that kind of thing. That's what I look like at 22. I don't know if it's a bad thing or a good thing, but that's what I look like. But at 23, I did my first contest. The Mr. Staten Island.
Wasn't the Dubai Pro?
No, the Dubai Pro. I actually won my class. I won the middleweight class.
There you go.
Yeah. Back then, I don't think they had novice. They just had fucking open.
No, well, look, Nihat Kaya is going to be. He's going to be one of the. See, it's going to be interesting to see him stand next to a couple of different guys in 212. You know, I'm interested to see what he looks like stand next to like Kareth Baggio.
Yes,
I think that I don't know I don't know if he's going to get a shot at Keon Pearson this year. Probably not, is my guess. But I don't know.
Kareth Baggio is another guy that doesn't get enough credit. First of all, because he's 212, and it seems to be that Keon and Sean Clarita kind of take all the credit for 212 being that they battle back and forth for the Olympia. Kareth Baggio is a tremendous bodybuilder. Just his proportions and his overall muscularity, and he comes in shape. He's just a tremendous bodybuilder, and he's always in the top 5 at the 212 Olympia. He's always either a third or fourth, you know. So
he's insane. He's a New York Pro champion. You know, he's going to the Texas Pro as an open bodybuilder, being coached by Dave Palumbo right now. Like, Kareth has a lot going for him right now, and I've been waiting to see him do an open show for quite some time. I'm glad I'm going to get that chance at Texas, and we'll see who ends up showing up there.
Yeah, he agrees with us. I don't know if you saw the post that he put on Instagram.
Yeah, I did see it. Yeah.
I actually messaged him. I was like, oh, I put a comment. I was like, oh, sounds like somebody I know did a video just like this. I went, oh, that was me. And because I had him on the show once. He's a really good guy. He actually goes to the same gym as one of my supervisors at work. And he came on once.
Good. Well, you go to the same gym as Kareth Baggio.
I can't hear you. I'm sorry, man. You're breaking up on me a little bit.
Yeah, you were breaking up too. It's your fault, not mine. No, why don't you train at the same gym as Kareth Baggio?
You know, he's in. I think he trains in Connecticut. I don't know exactly where he trains. I'm not 100% sure, but it's not near me. It's one of the guys. One of my supervisors at work goes to the same gym as him, because where I work, you know, we got guys that come up from Connecticut, Pennsylvania, upstate.
Oh yeah.
Jersey. I mean, they're from all over the place, and it's not. It's always, you know, an hour or two away, that kind of thing. We have guys that basically this is very common in places like New York City. They work in New York City because New York City pays the best, but then they will live 2 hours.
They live outside the city. Yeah,
it's, you know, it's definitely cheaper to live outside. They're able to afford a beautiful home, you know, 2 hours away or an hour and a half away or whatever the case may be, you know. And these guys fucking drive an hour and a half, 2 hours to work every day and back and they do it for their families and they do it for themselves, and it's a lot of credit. Anyway, but yeah, that should definitely be fun to watch. Yeah, and then this Ronnie Coleman shit going on, man. Nobody even knows what's happening. He's in the hospital. It's saying that something serious, but he'll be okay, and that's all we know as far as right now.
Yeah, I have no idea what is happening with Ronnie Coleman. All we're told is that it's a medical emergency, and the family's hoping that people won't speculate.
Yeah, you know, he's one of those guys that, he's a very, you hate to see anything terrible happen to him because he's such a down to earth, likable guy. As even though he was 8-time Mr. Olympia, it always felt like it never went to his head. He was always very modest. He's always very friendly. He always says, "I don't have any regrets." Um, I mean, he always had this very, very friendly feud with Jay Cutler. It was a feud, but it was like friendly and a friendship. And he's just a very likable guy that you really hate to see anything bad happen to.
Ronnie Coleman has one regret that he's ever listed in his life. When Ronnie Coleman got under the squat bar to do 800 pounds. He did it twice, and he said that he could have done 5, but he racked it. And that is his one regret. And that is Ronnie Coleman. And that's why we care about this so much. He's an 8-time Mr. Olympia. He trained like an 8-time Mr. Olympia, like exactly the way you think one would. He's the greatest of all time,
Not hands down.
Yeah, at 61, to have a medical emergency, the bodybuilding world, everybody very concerned. I think the last I saw, I was just watching Heavy Muscle Radio, and they said that, or maybe it was Nick Strength and Power. I don't know. I watch everybody, but it's about 200,000 likes that Ronnie has just on that post, on his Instagram. It's insane the following that he has.
People love him around.
Mainstream news is picking this up right now.
Yes, yeah. You're right. Absolutely. It's there are certain people in every sport that they're just extremely like in basketball, it's Shaquille. Like everybody loves Shaquille O'Neal, man. You can't not love him. And in bodybuilding, it's Ronnie Coleman. Everybody loves Ronnie Coleman, man. Everybody loves him, and it's just terrible to see anything happen to him. I hope he's fine. I always had this strange confidence that I'm going to see him walking again and upright again and so on and so forth, But I just hope he's okay. That's all. I mean, I would like to know what it is, but that's up to the family too. Who knows? It's some things have to be kept sacred. Yeah, actually, Connor, you're right. For hip hop, it's Snoop Dogg. Everybody loves Snoop Dogg. Yeah. Snoop Dogg did videos with Martha Stewart. If any other rapper did a video with Martha Stewart, they'd call him a sellout.
They'd call him a lot of things.
Yeah.
A lot of things.
I'll get to where you're 100% right, man. There are just guys, and there are guys that there are guys that get hurt, or you see, and of course you feel bad. But there's always that part of you like, he's a fucking dick anyway. I don't want to see him get hurt. I don't want to see him, really suffer or anything like that. But there's always a part of like, fucking douchebag anyway. But with Ronnie, it's like all love because that's his energy, and that's how he treats everybody. And it's just like I have a friend at work, Jason Washington, and every time I see him, I go, "Big J, doing it again." And I just get that from Ronnie Coleman when he saw Jay Cutler walking into the Olympia. It's like, "Big J, we're doing it again."
Yeah, man. When COVID was happening, I think you can say that without being demonetized these days. I think the world's past it now. It's probably something that, anyway. On the wall in my gym, when all the gyms were closed down, my brother is he's a 22-year-old kid himself, right? And at that time he was even he was driving, but he was young, right? Like early 20s. No, he was in his he was like 21 at the time, I think. I can't remember.
Say that. Anyway, say that again. What was he driving? Because you broke on me a little bit.
Oh, sorry. No, my brother would drive to my house to train in my gym, and we wrote Ronnie Coleman slogans on the wall with chalk.
Yeah.
Like I've got them all over my Instagram. So yeah, it just goes to show that the impact of Ronnie Coleman has been monumental in bodybuilding, almost unrivaled, except for Arnold, of course, in the sense of the sport being memorable. But Ronnie Coleman, one of the most memorable individuals within the sport. I mean, you can't scroll through your Instagram without having some sort of Ronnie Coleman meme on there. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah. And you know what? To his credit, Jay Cutler is the same way. Jay Cutler is very loved and very liked. Doesn't talk bad about anybody. Um, he has great marketability. I think that's probably just who they really are. You can't, you know what it is? You can't be in the public eye for this long without it, who your real character is to come out. Sooner or later, your real character will come out. I just think that's who guys like Ronnie and Jay Cutler really are. They're just very nice guys, good dudes, virtuous guys, admirable, and who love the sport and love the battle, but just kept it friendly and kept it uh, classy. That's definitely the right word to use. It's just you don't want to see a guy like that. There are certain people that you don't want to see down. Like I was a huge boxing fan, and I remember when Evander Holyfield fought James Toney, and James Toney beat Evander Holyfield. I was like, oh no, no, not him. And it's the same thing with Ronnie. Like, no, 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 no. I don't want to see him get hurt, man. I want to see him healthy. I want to see him back to normal. And it's because that's what they gave to people. Their energy that they put out is what they gave people. And I don't know how it happens where they just don't create haters. They create love. It's just unbelievable. Look, I just broke 2,100 subscribers. Okay. And I put videos of me in the gym, and I put shorts of me in the gym on YouTube. You got to see the shit people say about me. I mean, they just fucking rip me apart. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. I'm like, what the fuck did I do?
Well, okay.
And-
I've had my couple on there. I still think that you're on fucking 500 mils of test a week.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, so I'm correct. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 500 mils of test. That's all I use, and that's all I've been using for a while now is testosterone and growth hormone. I don't use any orals anymore. I don't use any, anabolic like Trend or EQ or anything like that. That's just gone.
No, that's foolish.
I'm just too old for that shit. You know what I mean? Like there's just no reason. And to be honest with you, in the long term, I've gotten such a better result in the long term result of lower dosages of GH and lower dosages of testosterone.
Yeah, and that's just it, right? I mean, there's just no need for it. I've never had a need for it personally.
Yeah. No, there's just not like when I talk to young guys, I get one or two things. Either they have no idea about it, or they immediately, I want to go on Trend. I want to go on Master Arm. I want to use D-balls. I want and it's like hold your horses here, dude. This is a fucking. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon. You don't have to jump on these things right away. You could do testosterone and DECA, and you'll be fine. You'll be good. Believe me, you'll be fine. You know what I mean? Or it's strange. Or I talk to young guys and they have no fucking clue. It's like either it's one or the other. It's very rare that you get a guy that's a very balanced individual in bodybuilding. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I don't know how can I explain it. Because usually once you start doing one drug, it justifies other drugs. What am I going to do about I'm hungry. I'm always hungry and I'm competing. Well, I could use what is it? Semaglutide. Okay. Well, that justifies that. Well, I don't have energy. What can I use for energy? Well, I could use, some kind of, stimulant or, a prescription stimulant. I forgot what they call Adderall or something like that. Right. I could use that. And it just opens the door to other drugs. Because once you use one, it justifies everything else. Very rarely do you get a guy like myself, who I use test and GH, and I don't use anything else. I don't use any narcotics. I don't use any appetite suppressants. I don't use stimulants. I don't use anything to sleep if I can't sleep. It's, you know what I mean? It seems to me that there's, once you cross the line, it's like you really cross it, and it's just a strange thought process. It's like, I do this and that's fine. I smoke weed, and I drink, and I could try some coke, and I snort heroin, so I could shoot heroin, and it's like the same thing in bodybuilding. Well, I use testosterone, so I could use insulin, and I could use growth hormone, and I could use tren, and I could, everything is justifiable. Yeah, I don't know. It's strange.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. It's not, luckily, nothing I've never really had to concern myself with. Thankfully, I did 2 cycles. The last one I did was like 2004, I want to say. So you're talking like 21 years ago, and I've only done 2 in my life. I did 500 tests for 12 weeks, both cycles, and that's it.
Yeah, and the truth of the matter is, if you really wanted to, there are, I don't know about Canada, I'll assume in Canada, but there are places that are all over. There are clinics all over the States now.
Oh yeah, they're here too.
Yeah, and a physician will look over all your blood work, track everything, prescribe you everything. You go back to make and get more blood work, and you could use testosterone, and there are certain peptides. You could use growth hormone, and you could do it as safe as possible. I hate saying safe because it's not safe, but you do it as safe as possible, right? And
you're not throwing caution to the wind here. You're
right.
doing your best by making a choice that could have impacts on your health, and you understand that going into it. That's how it works.
Right. Yeah, but I couldn't have said it better myself. And there's I know a lot of guys at work that except they call it TRT. They don't call it testosterone or steroids. And I can't tell you how many people actually go to the clinics and don't realize what they're using are steroids. like my middle brother, there was a guy.
It's medication. What's in it?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. There was a guy that used to sponsor my channel, and he's in Jersey. And my middle brother, asked me about this, and I was like, yeah, go to this guy. He's cool. This guy's name is Dennis. And actually, Holly Wheeler Holmes actually introduced me to him, and he was able to sponsor my channel for a few months. And I was like, and so he had his blood work done, and he had to go, meet and speak to the physician, and so on and so forth, and blah blah blah. I went through all of, and they prescribed him. I don't remember how. I think they prescribed him like 200 milligrams of testosterone or cypionate a week, which is like 100 milligrams twice a week, something to that effect. And I finally said to him, we met at the hospital. My mother was in the hospital, and he was talking. Yeah, and I was talking to him in the waiting room. I said, "You realize what you're doing, right?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "No, you realize that you're taking steroids now, right?" and he looked at me with this blank face. I was like, "That's exactly what they are. What you're taking is exactly what they are. It's a synthetic testosterone, or a derivative of synthetic testosterone, and you're taking synthetic testosterone. They just don't call it steroids because calling it steroids gives it a bad label. They call it TRT, so it's more marketable, and you walk in and you think everything is fine."
How can you not realize that? What?
No, dude. What's funny is I was actually talking to my wife about this. There are people that go to the gym and work out, and my brother's not a workout guy, so but there are people that go through life and they just don't absorb anything. Like they're like that. What's that little vacuum that you put, it's battery operated. You put it on the floor and it bumps off the wall. A Roomba.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, where it just, it just bumps off the wall. They don't absorb anything, and they go to the next wall and they bump off that, and that's how people live their lives. And I see it all the time. I see it all the time. Like, if you're a young guy and you're in the gym, if you're 18, 19, 20, 21, like under 25, and you're just getting started in the gym, I understand how you don't know form, and you don't know anything about supplementation. You don't know anything about anabolics. I get it. You're young. You just don't. But I've spoken to guys that are in their 60s, been doing this forever, going to the gym. and they don't know how to train still. They don't know anything about supplementation. They don't know anything about nutrition. They don't know anything about anabolics. And it's like, and it's not like, and I'm not talking about like, I'll even give you a pass if you're an immigrant, like you've come from another country and you're working out here. I'm talking about like retired police officers that I've spoken to that go to the gym and they have no fucking clue. And I'm not kidding, dude. And it's like, there are people that don't understand changes in the social atmosphere. It's just like, it blows me away. It just blows me away. It blows me. Perfect example. Okay. This is the best. You're going to love this story. Where my wife has a hairdresser. She has a hair salon in Fairfield, New Jersey. If anybody's interested, it's called Salon Drama. Okay. So, right next door to her is this bakery, but the bakery is like a health bakery. They don't use sugar. They use stevia, and they use like different protein powders to make everything like protein available. It's like basically her own protein bar kind of formula, and the girl does very well. Right across the street from that place is an ice cream place, right? So one of the girls goes and gets this dessert thing at the healthy place. And then she says, the calories are just as much as the regular ice cream across the street, right? And I said to her, that doesn't always matter. It's like calories matter. I was like, that doesn't always matter. And I told her about this research that was done, and Dave Palumbo cites this all the time. And it was basically, Xavier's here. What's up, Xavier?
Oh, nice.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
No, in the middle of the story. Perfect. Perfect time to join us in the middle of a story. So I said, look, there was this research study done. It was basically a focus study, and there were 3 groups of people. They gave one group of people whey protein. They gave another group of people basically just a carb drink. It was just sugar. And then they gave another group of people soy protein. They had all the same calories and they had all the same amount and so on and so forth. Is that the people that drank the whey actually wound up losing some body fat and gaining muscle. The people that drank the carb drink basically gained fat and lost muscle. And the people that drank the soy drink, actually nothing happened, right? There was basically nothing happened. And I'm explaining to her that not all calories are equal, so you really can't compare the two. 2 weeks later, my wife goes, the calories in the ice cream across the street is the same as the calories next door. And I'm like, did I not? What fucking? It's just like, and I just go, forget it. Forget I said anything.
I feel like when I hear stuff like, if you hear something about, like something in nutrition, or you hear something about like exercise or something, you'll inherently know, even if you don't remember the exact details or the exact mechanism on how something works, hey, I've heard something about that, and I know that that's the right way to do things. Like, I've heard like for digestion, it's best to actually eat the protein portion of your food first and things like that. But like a lot of people, they just don't take any of it in, like it's all just like you said, yeah, bounces off.
And I truly believe it's for one of 2 reasons. Either they just don't absorb and they don't take anything new in. And there are plenty of people like that. Like, you got to hit somebody in the head with a brick in order for them to realize something. Or they just refuse to take it in because then they realize that they have to do that to actually change.
Yeah.
And I think that's most of the time, right? I think most of the time people don't want to accept the information because then they know if they fully accept it, then they will be accountable, and then they have to do what they need to do to change. Instead, they just go, that didn't work. That diet didn't work for me. That's a big one you hear all the time. That's a big one you hear all the time. I tried that diet. It didn't work for me. Yeah. And it's, forget it. Or you guys ever get this? Like, everybody on this podcast is obviously in shape. Do you ever were you ever around family and there a conversation of losing weight comes out and they just don't ask you? They just
Oh, dude.
They just
I don't. I can't talk training around my family or anything like that. Like it's just
Yeah, I hate it.
There's
I
no
hate
talk.
it.
No, it's not like I
Worst.
don't talk working out. I specifically do not talk bodybuilding and working out in front of my family because I come from a typical Italian family where everybody's overweight and fat, right? But what'll happen is we'll be at some kind of dinner or a gathering or something like that. Topic of somebody will say, I need to get back to the gym, I need to get in shape, or I'm looking into the gastric bypass surgery or the lap band, but they refuse to ask my opinion. Just absolutely refuse because they know I'm going to tell them the truth and they don't want to hear the truth. They just want to go, oh yeah, that's a good idea. You should try that. Yeah. And like
It's exactly what happens too.
it's the truth. Like I have a family member, shall remain nameless, because just in case anybody wants it. And this person had the lap band. Okay, and it was a holiday, and this person lost a lot of weight. Okay, and it was a holiday. I don't know if it was Easter. I think it was Easter. And another member of my family said to this person, how is it going? How's the surgery going? How's the dieting? How's it going? And she goes, yeah, I kind of hit a plateau and I don't know what to do. And she's eating chocolate cake, right? She's eating a piece of cake. And she goes, I really don't know what to do. I got to call the doctor and see, because the doctor told me that this is going to happen. So I'm going to call the doctor and see what the problem is. And I'm sitting right there at the table. I'm sitting right there. And it just absolutely refuses to fucking ask me. Just refuses to
That's
ask me.
so insane. It's insane to me, like the concept of not being able to control your eating to a point that you need to have it's a pretty extreme surgery. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like to a level.
Yeah. No, dude, it's the amount of people that are on semaglutide now because it's trendy is insane. And it's like, I have family members that are on it that are thin, not in shape, not fat, but just thin. Maybe could lose a few pounds, just if they just cleaned up their diet and started, training a little bit, 3 days a week or something like that, it would come off. It would come off like this. But no, I'd rather just use semaglutide and not do anything. And it's like
I have no problem eating clean. I'd rather, like, if I was going to use a fat burner, I'd rather clean. You know what I mean? To be honest, but the way it sounds like it messes up your gut, like this stuff a lot of the time, like it doesn't. It's one of those things that we hear 20 years later. Oh yeah, all these people have these horrible gut issues, and everyone has IBS type variations and stuff because of this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's going to be like the World Trade Center. Now you hear everybody who's got cancer that worked down at the World Trade Center during September 11th, and you're like, "Oh, what could it be? I don't know. Can't fucking figure it out."
Yeah, exactly.
But it's just so funny that I would rather the person just say to me, "I don't want to do that. I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to eat clean, and I'm not going to." I would respect that more than I would respect that more than just saying, I tried that diet, it didn't work for me. I honestly, it's just fucking, I don't have the time to get to the gym, like, where am I going to find the time? I don't know. Fucking Lee Priest gets up at 4:00 in the morning. He finds the fucking time. You know what I mean?
And then they're not finding the time thing, and then they'll like doom scroll for 2.5 hours before bed. It's like, you don't have the time, like you do, but you're just
not making
your priority levels aren't there.
Exactly.
Like you would rather have 2.5 hours, 3 hours of chill time and have a drink at night rather than go to the gym, and that's fine.
Listen,
but like, don't pretend like you don't have time. I'm
no saint. Okay, I like to have a few drinks in moderation. Last night I was home by myself. I had a few drinks. I put it on fucking Instagram. I do like once a week have either if I go out to eat or order food in or whatever with the wife, eat a cheat meal, whatever. But then the next day I go right back to normal, and I go right back to working out and right back to eating clean and so on and so forth.
I think that's like a healthy balance, though.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's not even they know what they're doing is wrong, but they still fucking do it. it's like, how can I say this? Do you ever talk to one of those girls that are still single and they're 40 and they go, I just never met the right guy. I don't know. There's all this guy, other guys are shit out there. You don't think it's you? You don't think you haven't found one good guy in 40 years, so you don't think it's you. No, that can't be me. It's like, okay, well then you're gonna die single. This is the same thing. You're gonna be fat and have diabetes and have fucking problems if you don't fucking change. You know, if you fucking draw, if you want to draw an apple, and for 10 years you're trying to draw an apple, but for 10 years it's coming out like an orange, but you're trying to draw an apple, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah. Well, dude,
Got to do something different.
The funny thing is, it's like when, like, I've dated some people before, and you start dating them, and they say, "Oh, yeah, these guys, this, okay, you've been unlucky," and you think that, and you believe them, and then you start dating them for a little bit, and you're like, I reckon that you've got things all mixed up, and it's actually you because like the overreactions or whatever it is, like whatever the issue is, like their trust issues or whatever. I'm like, that's what's driving guys away. That's why you can't meet a nice guy. And the nice guys you treat like shit, maybe, and then you've got all these stories about being with these guys. I'm like, well, you hung around for a long time with like these really like, and the other ones seem to have just gone away.
Xavier, I am 49 years old, and I don't even need to I could see it in one conversation at this point. And you'll get there. Both of you guys are a lot younger than
I'm the last person that I dated where it didn't work out, it was like, I just called it. Yeah.
One conversation, and you'll go, and it's not even like, I'm married, so it's not even like I'm trying to like date, but I will talk to a girl maybe in the gym or maybe nobody works in the sewer, so not at work, but whatever the case may be, most of the time it's in the gym or it's maybe a friend of my wife's or a family friend or something like that. And or a friend of a friend, whatever. And I will have one conversation and I go, all right, I'll give you an example. This is great. This is fantastic. I had this neighbor, okay, and they had people over, and they told me, come over and have a drink. It was the daughter's birthday. Their daughter's birthday was across the street. So I was like, all right. So I was talking to one of the girls there, a member of them, and she asked me what I do for a living, and we were shooting the shit. And I said to her, what do you do? And she goes, well, right now my full-time job is taking care of my mother. She is she has dementia, and she needs somebody to take care of her. So I said, you get paid to take care of your mother? Because that's how So she goes, no, I don't get paid to do it, but I take care of my mother. And I looked at her and I said, so you're unemployed? And she's like, well, yeah, technically I'm unemployed. I'm like, no, there's no technicalities. You don't have a job. And it's like, wow, the mental gymnastics that you have to do to fucking say that. Do you know what I mean? And then I said, well, who do you live with? She goes, my mother. And I'm like, I said, where did you live? Because this person was like in her 40s. And I said, where'd you live before that? And she named like 3. And she got mad at me. And I walked away. She goes, well, does it matter? I was like, wow, just having a conversation. But this conversation doesn't make sense. She goes, I used to live in, she named 3 spots. She goes, I used to live in, I forgot, Verona, 3 spots in New Jersey. I don't remember, whatever. And I'm like, I see, you're all over the map here. You're not grounded. You're irresponsible. You don't have a job, and you're using your mother as an excuse. That's what's happening. I mean, I didn't say that to her, but by this point, as soon as she got agitated, walked away. But that's what's happening here, and this is why you're over 40 and single with no kids, because you're a fucking walking red flag, and it's just bad. And the same thing happens with people that just don't want to do the work when it comes to losing weight and getting healthy. They'll just continue to do the shit that they did. It's unbelievable, I get guys at my job that are so severely overweight, right? They're so severely overweight. We have to go down into these tanks, okay? And they're so severely overweight that the ladder that goes into the tank has a weight limit. And they can't work in the tanks because they can't get on the ladder because the weight limit is 350. And they are way over that. And I never said anything, but you're going to tell me that you don't have diabetes, you don't have heart trouble, you don't have blood pressure problems, you don't have cholesterol. It's impossible not to. But they just keep living that same lifestyle because they just don't want to fucking change. And it's like, I mean, all right, you're going to wind up in a casket soon. I don't know what to tell you, but it is what it is, man. What do you get this, Xavier? Did you get like this? Do you get this? Yeah. I mean, I want to get in shape, but I don't want to look like you.
Well, I don't give that anymore because now I'm a bit skinnier, but I've gotten back into training more lately. But yeah, when I was competing, I don't want veins like that. It's like, well, you don't get to selectively choose if you want veins. Like,
it doesn't work that way, pal. You don't.
Then you just
go to the gym, and
That's where you just do what Arnold did.
Yeah.
Remember, Arnold said, "Well, I wouldn't want to look like you," and he just said, "Don't worry, you won't."
Yeah, I love that.
It's true. Yeah, listen, I give credit to anybody who tries. Anybody who tries, who really puts in the work and tries, and I'll give you all the credit in the world. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I'm in the gym and I stop to help somebody, especially if it's a young guy or a guy. I try not to do that with girls because girls tend to like call you a creep and put you on blast on Instagram and all this crap. So I kind of stay away from the girl thing. Yeah. But I can't tell you how many times if I see you trying and you don't have something right or the form right, I can't tell how many times I go, hey, try it like this. And then what's funny is that I get gratification if they do it right. And I'll be like, yes, that's it. You got it. I did it today. There was a guy doing he's on a back machine. I forgot it was a plate loaded back machine, when you pull in, and he's doing one of these jobs, like this. And I'm like, no, just pull it all the way back, and really feel. And he started doing it, and I was like, yes, that's it. That's the way to do it. So if you're trying, I give you all the respect in the world. It's the people that just make up excuses and are really overweight and run out of breath walking up the stairs and just did nothing but excuses, And it's just like I don't have patience for that. I really don't. Anyway,
John, what sort of gym do you train in?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I go to LA Fitness, and then I also go to Strong and Shapely, which is a hardcore gym.
Yeah.
I think Akeem Williams works out there. A couple of pros work out there. I always kept it like that. I always kept it either like one franchise gym because I could bounce around. You're one member one, you can go to different ones. So when I go visit my mother, there's an LA Fitness right behind her, so I can go there. And then I always go to like some kind of hardcore gym if I really want to put like a good back workout in, a leg workout or something like that, that kind of thing. So I always kept it. I always keep it like that. John trains in a gay nightclub. Wow. Forrest.
All that.
Forrest, remind me never to tell you anything of secrecy again. Jesus, you just tell everybody.
It sounded very Big Gay Owl like.
Yeah,
one of them basement gyms in New Jersey.
Son of a bitch, Forrest.
It was funny. My girlfriend the other day said, he said something like, she called me a silly goose. I'm like, you sounded like Big Gay Owl off South Park. She had no idea what I was talking about, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
we know how young she is then.
Yeah. Exactly.
Man, Xavier, just from the pictures, I could tell you finally picked a good one.
Yeah, no, man, it's so funny. It's like introducing her to my parents.
It's just from the pictures you could say. I'm like, that's it. Xavier's got that one.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely keeping this one locked down. So yeah, it's good.
Good. You can, like you could just look and you could tell, and you go look at a couple and go, oh, that's not gonna end up right. Like who's that? Who's the football player? Travis. Did you hear about this guy?
Travis Kelce?
I think it's Travis Kelce. He was like number 2 pick in the NFL draft picks. Anyway, he was dating this girl that was older than him. Now listen to this. I swear to God. And anybody in the comments, if you heard the story, click in because I'm not 100% sure all the details. But I think it's Travis Kelce. I'm not 100%. It's Travis something.
Yeah.
Apparently talented upon talent upon talent. Guaranteed Jason Arns knows who he is. Arns is a huge football person.
Well, I think Travis Kelce dated Taylor Swift, so it might not be him.
Oh, okay. It's Travis somebody, whatever. It doesn't matter. Yeah. And so this football player apparently is one of...
Travis Hunter.
Oh, Travis Hunter. Thank you, Forrest. Yes. Okay. Apparently this guy dating a girl that's older than him, and she basically goes out to the nightclubs, and he waits for her to pick her up outside the nightclub. She has a tattoo on her wedding ring finger of a $sign, right? She looks the part, right? You know what I mean, right? And apparently people have been giving him so much shit on social media, and he defends her so much, but this girl is obviously manipulating him and so on and so forth. And he actually said, she bought me a car. Like, what girl ever bought me no girl ever bought me a car. And it's like, well, she bought it for you with your money though, right? Your NFL money. That's who she bought it. So, apparently they shut down all their social media, both of them. And then he winds up marrying her. And you go, oh, this is
not a great choice.
This is not going to end well. Jesus Christ. Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm sure he has a financial advisor and an accountant. Does he not have a fucking person to say, Jesus Christ, man, at least get a prenup, for fuck's sake?
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. Like, there's all those laws, like when you live with someone for a certain period, then it's like 50-50, you know? It's like, I think in Australia, it's like 2 years. You don't even have to be married. You live with someone for 2 years, then half their shit's yours unless you sign something, you know?
Yeah, in the States, no. They tried passing it. They used to refer to it as palimony. But in the States, if you're living together and you're not legally married and there's no children, no, you separate, so on and so forth. Now, if you're married, or if you have children, different story. But yeah, man, I mean, basically, and then once the lawyers get involved, and that type of girl is going to be, I see it already. If they have kids, that girl, that person is going to talk shit about a father. It's just going to be horrible. Then once the lawyers get involved,
you know my situation now. Like, it's crazy. Like, I sort of have some sort of empathy for people that get manipulated, but for it to be that obvious and to have like probably millions of people warning you and you still just don't listen, it's like that to me, it's like that's pretty insane. Like,
but Xavier,
I didn't have that.
The thing is, though, it's a blueprint. You see it all the time. It's the same crap, whether you are a fucking electrician or whether you are a fucking football player or a politician. It's the same shit. The blueprint is the same. The guy doesn't get a lot of attention from women, right? Or he just became or he never banged a girl this hot or whatever it is. She knows that she's manipulating him. She knows that she's got him because she's giving him attention. And, you know, he's like, oh, well, this is the first girl that ever really gave me attention. So she must really like me, you know? And then even though all the red flags are there, even though she's just, you know, and they get married, they have kids. And then before you know it, for whatever reason some bullshit reason that they come up with, like irreconcilable differences or no fault divorce, and then they lose everything, you know? Yeah. And it's the same blueprint over and over and over and over again. And it's like, dude, like, I've seen this with guys that I work with. I've seen it with my brother. I've seen it with regular people. And I see it with fucking celebrities. Like, don't you think Johnny Depp's red flag should have been when she shit in his bed? Like,
yeah, shitting on a pillow is rough.
Yeah, that should have been like, maybe I'm with the wrong person here.
Yeah. When he came back to bed and there was a log on a pillow, he should have just ran.
That's unbelievable. Or Ben Affleck, when half of Hollywood ran through Jennifer Lopez and she came running back to him, and it's like, dude, really?
Yeah, Jennifer Lopez, you can tell she's got some
holy shit. Really? I mean, we're not together anymore, but it's like, wow, somebody needs to tell you're Ben Affleck because you don't think you're Ben Affleck. But yeah, man, it's just fucking, it's hard. You know, it is what it is. But I don't know how we got on this topic.
I don't know. So
I have no fucking idea.
Anyway,
we start with talking about that stuff. I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know how we got into that direction, but it doesn't matter. Whatever. That's why this show is called Shooting the Breeze, because anything can happen.
Oh yeah, that's
Exactly.
Shooting the Breeze with John Livia and Lee Priest.
Yes, I don't know where Lee is. He didn't even message me back. I hope he's all right. You know,
I'll see if he's been on WhatsApp.
what'd you say?
I'll see if he's been on
Oh, here he
WhatsApp.
goes. Okay, here. Hey, sorry, I missed the show yesterday. I hurt my back. Oh man, I don't want to say
Oh, did
cliff.
he?
Yeah, 4 bags of cocaine. Oh, stupid me. When I got 4 bags of cocaine, felt like shit. Made it worse. All right, never mind. I won't read that. Sorry.
Obviously, jokes, you know.
Yeah, I don't know if he's joking or not. I had to try to sleep. I'm gonna be 53. I'm fucked up now. Oh Jesus Christ! All right, I'll say. This is live. I can't even edit that part out.
Be all right. He'll be fine.
Oh man. All right, it is what it is. Before we, what else is any? Oh, Xavier,
Yes.
have you heard anything about Ronnie Coleman? Because all we know as of right now is that he's just hurt.
No, I don't know. Like, it says a medical emergency, right? Like, is it from? It's not from an injury, is it? Or like, could it have been? And the family doesn't want people to speculate, but it's like it could be such a myriad of things. Like, we'd just be guessing on whatever. It could be something back related. It could, like, not to speculate, but people are going to speculate. Like, it just is what it is. It's like it's.
Speaking of Ronnie Coleman, there's a in that gym, Strong and Shapely. There's a girl that used to date Ronnie Coleman when he was Mr. Olympia. She's a trainer there, and
Oh,
she's
really?
Spanish girl, yeah, and now she's married to somebody else. And I'm like, in my head, I'm going, yeah, I wouldn't. That alpha imprint is imprinted in that. I wouldn't have done that. Like,
it would be hard to date someone after they've dated Mr. Olympia, you know?
yeah, not only Mr. Olympia, like the greatest bodybuilder of all time.
Yeah,
Like-
exactly.
Like the Jesus Christ of bodybuilding. That's
Yeah. You'd almost be asking details, like, what is he like when he comes? He's like, yeah, buddy! Woo!"
nothing but a peanut. Yeah.
Yep.
I would say during his first 2 Olympia wins, yes. I would say that 2001, no.
Say that again, Kenton. Are you breaking
You
up on
dropped a
me?
bit there.
Okay, I would say that during his first 2 Olympia wins, yes. But after his win in 2001, no.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, whatever it is, what it is. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, what do you got going on, Xavier? What's happening with desktop bodybuilding?
Getting back into it a bit. I'm getting a few more videos out. We got Is it Portugal coming up this weekend?
Yes,
Portugal,
this
bud.
Yeah.
Is it this week?
It's this weekend, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nathan
Yeah,
Diasha, Rubio Mosquera. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah. We got Bruno Santos in there as well.
Oh, is it really?
Joseph Fetton.
Yes, my boy Joseph.
Yeah, you love him, eh? Anthony
He's
Gell. We've got
He's good too, man.
Dennis Friedrich. Who else is in there? They're the main bigger names that are in the show. But yeah, it will be very interesting between Nathan and Rubiel. I don't know if Bruno can crack in there, but Bruno's sort of, I'd say, a little underrated almost at the moment.
I'm a huge fan of Bruno, not for his bodybuilding, but his training. Do you ever see him train on fucking Instagram? Or, dude, he's a fucking animal.
He lifts a lot, right?
Dude, he pushes weight that's insane. It's almost Ronnie Coleman-esque. You know, like I don't know where was it, Venice, where he had the 300-pound dumbbells, with the gold 300-pound dumbbells. Yo, he went on road them like they were nothing. Like they were nothing.
Oh, I remember that. That was a while back, hey?
Like, Jesus Christ, this guy's a fucking beast. You know, his bench, his leg press is just, he's a fucking animal in the gym. So I just am a fan of him because of that. He's just a fucking monster in the gym. You know?
Yeah.
All right,
I like Forrest's comment. Imagine dating a girl after she dated
No, I wouldn't know. If you that's why I don't want to know. Like, don't tell me.
Yeah.
Like, listen, I've been with my wife for 14 years and I've never asked and I don't want to know. And if we bump into somebody, a guy that you know, I won't even ask. And she knows that if I do ask, the answer needs to be no. Right.
Well, dude, I'm very similar to that. I don't want to know, like, I don't want to know details and shit like that of past stuff. Like, but my girlfriend is very comfortable with knowing anything, and she'll ask, and she doesn't. And I'm to the point where I'm nervous to say, you know what I mean? Nervous to say certain things. 'Cause I'm like, I'm used to girls getting mad at stuff like that, so I'm like, and she's just completely fine. I'm like, okay,
yeah. No, you know what it is? That's because she's not westernized. You know, she understands. She understands that men are whores, and women. She understands that women shouldn't be. That's how.
Yeah.
But no, if there were times where me and my wife have been out, and some guy and my wife will be interested. I'm like, "Did you date him?" My wife will be like, "No." So to this day, I don't know, and I don't want to know. And if that happens, she knows the answer needs to be no matter what. And that wasn't because of me. That's just her. That's no. Everything is no. So I'm fine with that. I wouldn't. If I knew anybody dated Bo, I wouldn't even. No, I wouldn't even. It wouldn't even.
She didn't tell you she dated Bo, but there'd be signs, you know.
Your head just falls in.
yeah. Am I in right now, or what's happening here?
Dude, I'd have
be any friction.
I know. I would just no. I wouldn't want to know. That's it. I just don't want to know. What's mine is mine. I don't care. That's it.
Yeah. I feel you.
But and if I knew that, if I knew, look at this. Forrest is a pisser.
Yeah, no, that was good. That's a good comment.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. You know how the first time I ever heard of Bo was actually on Bro Chat with Fuad. He had just turned pro, and they started talking to him, and they brought pictures of him up, and they were laughing at him because of his fucking genitalia, you know. And then I think I was on Muscular Development, and he messaged me on Instagram, and that's when I invited him on. And of course, I broke his balls about that too. But one time, I would love to just pay somebody to just be like, give me the same reaction you gave Bo, so I could just feel what it's like.
Wow, I've never seen anything like
it. Like, how much money do you need just to give me the same exact? Don't act. Just think of it when you were with Bo, and give me that same reaction. Don't act like don't be a phony. I can't do phony. Like,
hold on, Joe.
If they're using their hand, they'll need those little hands that people have been getting lately, and they do things with them. They're like this big. They can jack you off with those hands, so your dick looks enormous on a video you take.
No, John. You would pay for somebody to tell you what it was like to react to the first time seeing Bo's dick, but you wouldn't pay for a top-tier guy in the indry to be
that's not what he said.
As a guest.
No,
that's what he said.
No. What I said was I
heard what he fucking said.
I would pay to a girl to give me the same reaction as she gave Bo the first time.
Oh, yeah, because you would pay for that over somebody coming on your channel.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that one I do believe.
Within reason, within reason, But just so I could feel it inside one time in my life, just one time.
John, a couple layers here, kind of a little revealing of what you may have your own self-worth,
No, say that again, Kenson. It broke up on me again.
John, we're peeling back the layers here. I think we're starting to get an idea of what you might be packing. You seem a little bit insecure about it, bud.
Yeah, I'm as God did this. God basically put this amazing physique together, and then when it came to my dick and balls, he just had average. He just had averageness and mediocrity ready for me. He just goes, I got to move on. I got a lot of other people. I got a lot of other people. So we got to go.
I remember when I used to have my my script for testosterone, and then I went to the doctor, and for whatever reason, there's something going on. I don't know what the issue was, because I can't remember anything major, but he felt my testicles for whatever reason, and he said, they're quite atrophied, and I'm like, fucking motherfucker. I can't remember why he needed to feel my testicles. I think it was, I don't know what it was. He would have given a good reason, because I'm not volunteering that.
Ladies out there, if anybody is listening, I doubt any ladies are listening.
Not now.
But really, all you got to do is do this,
no.
Okay? If you want your man to really feel like he's huge, even if he's not, this is what you do. As soon as he puts it in, put your hand up against his stomach and stop him halfway in, and say something like easy.
Too deep.
Yeah, just easy.
Yeah.
you'll make a fucking Chinese guy feel like he's Italian.
Yeah. You're bottoming out. You're bottoming out halfway.
Yeah. Like, that's all you got. And the reason why I know that is the only time that ever happened to me is through an anal sex. Like I was in anally, and the girl was like, "Yo, take it, relax, take it easy." And I'm like, "That's what it must be like."
Yeah. You're hitting the head of Mr. Hankey.
Holy fuck.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I'll never forget. Then I pulled out, and there was like a chocolate chip on the head of my
I've never had that.
All right, gentlemen. Always a pleasure. I love you guys. You guys are fucking great, man.
Yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed that. I needed that.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
I will talk to you guys over the weekend. We'll be talking about what's up? The big man, Portugal.
Portugal, yeah.
All right,
Portugal,
fellas.
not Prague. Yep.
Yeah, Portugal. All right, gentlemen. Have a good one. Later.
See ya.
Later.